Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 46 of Local to Global with the Canadian Wrestling Coalition. Now, this episode, it's a special one. A special one without a doubt. Our first ever pay-per-view, or event, let's call it an event, that will be shown live on pay-per-view, which I think is a pretty historic place for us to be at. Now, some of you may have looked in the comments from the last episode, and others of you I would have actually talked to in the comment section. And I said I have a little surprise. Now, between the last episode and this one, decided to do a little bit of looking around through the US, because obviously I was talking about creating our own broadcaster for the US with like a medium coverage. Now, I think I've found something pretty good. As you can see, U-Demand in the US. Of course, there was U-Demand Canada, which we could also have gone for. But this is the original U-Demand. And as you can see, they are open to negotiations with us, with medium coverage throughout the whole of the US. Pro Wrestling, High Risk, and currently have Queens of American Wrestling on there, or as one of their providers, or as a provider for that company. So what we're going to do is we are going to get ourselves essentially a double medium-sized broadcaster for pay-per-view in both the US and now, well, Canada and the US. I was about to say that the other way around. Anyway, what we're going to do, because I'm hoping that we can eventually change our pay-per-view carriers and essentially go up to something that might be a little bit bigger. But what we're going to do is we're going to go for 1 year, which is exactly the same as our Canada pay-per-view deal. However, that deal has actually nearly, well, it will be close to the same sort of amount of time. Pretty sure the only time they're willing to offer, well, they're willing to offer afternoon, but I think late night is better. It's a little bit higher in the minimum quality expected as well. And then pretty sure 30% is the maximum, similar to the Canadian deal as well. So there we go. Sign a new deal, and we now have medium-sized coverage for both the US and for Canada. Pretty exciting stuff. And they both have high risk, so we no longer have to worry about ladder matches or anything like that. So I'm thinking for this episode, we will have that triple threat tag team match in a ladder match, which will be really cool. And of course, the main event itself is an I Quit match as well. Not 100% sure if we could have done, I think we have done I Quit matches on Dem previously, so I'm pretty sure we have. Anyway, we have the Go Home show up first here. And honestly, I'm not too sure what I wanted to do. I was thinking about maybe going Davis versus Mutant, but then again, it's not really playing into our main event, if you will. We've got a pay rise request here from Stan Manor, perfectly given to him. So Maverick has left TCW. Would be a decent option, but he's just too old. It is unfortunate, because I don't mind Maverick, to be honest. We did get 437,000 viewers for our last TV show on the previous episode. Yeah, really looking forward to this pay-per-view. Of course, we're also going to have an 8-man tournament, which will determine our new #1 contender. And of course, we're going to have some new faces in that tournament as well. Going to have Princeton Price. We're going to have Aldous Blackfriar, just to name a couple of them. And then, it's going to be filled out by guys like James Diaz, John Greed. Although, I see John Greed was in a storyline with Giant Brody. Part of me kind of wants to put that to the wayside, at least for this month. And we can just continue to run with it going forward. Maybe they could even meet up in the tournament, maybe in the semi-finals or something like that. But then again, that'll all kind of depend on what I decide to do with the tournament itself. I think I do have a winner in mind. Actually, before we go into the pay-per-view, I'm going to need to create the actual tournament title itself. I don't have the graphic ready, which is unfortunate, but in order to get this video out on time, I've had to forego that. But essentially, just to show you, it's literally going to be the Lord of the Rings, the ring, just put onto a background. Just some simple sort of Photoshop work from me. Nothing too impressive. So put that into your mind and let that be present when the match is actually taking place. And of course, we will have the graphic for the next pay-per-view of this kind, One Ring to Rule Them All. But it will be next year. So what's that? Maybe 24 more episodes until we get back there? Something like that. Maybe 25 if we decide to do something else. Interesting. Bulldozer Brandon Smith. He is 40 years old. We kind of contemplated going in for him. He is very over, to be fair. Probably would have been a decent option. I mean, that's a lot of money, though. Over 40,000. Yeah, not really too worried about that. We got Peter Novak leaving. It looks like they're going to replace him with Bulldozer, so that's interesting. Again, I'm just not really all that interested. We've spent a lot of money recently, so let me actually make this title before I forget. It's going to be CWC One Ring to Rule Them All. Pretty simple. Guess I'll do a capital for here for 2. Doesn't look great, but yeah, so it's a tournament going to be held at One Ring to Rule Them All. I guess it's kind of fitting because the actual tournament is the same sort of graphic. Not graphic, but same sort of capital letter there. There we go. Let me edit it a little bit and let's just go for a blank background for now. Just so it looks a little bit cleaner, as you can see. Put a 70 prestige on it as well. It's actually pretty cool to see, but I think it's because of our prestige and I think our size as well. Anyway, let's get into this go home show. Looking forward to it. I kind of got two ideas in my head. We've got a nice little backstage incident here for John Greed, and he thinks that Jack Jackson has a bright future and that he'd be willing to put him over in order to take him to the next level. The offer is good for 1 match and will expire in 6 months. So I guess what we're going to be doing a little bit down the line is a Frat Pack versus Wall Street Enterprises. That'll be pretty cool as well. Anyway, let's go to Ottawa. Of course, we do Ottawa as our sort of go-home show, the big TV show of the month. And the main event. See, I was going to go Davis versus Mutant, just because in the last episode, at the end, we had Forces of Darkness, Mutant, and Aldous Blackfriar taken on. Well, they actually beat the Golden Goats. But I think what I want to do is maybe go a little bit more storyline purpose. Let's go with this. Papa Swole and Davis. And I'll try. I think we should be able to do that for 20 minutes. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but if we had an angle to actually work it out with, it would probably make a bit more sense. But I'm assuming we're not going to be able to. We possibly might. Let me see. So what I wanted to do is have Mobstar and Papa Swole. And basically it's going to be Mobstar essentially talking to Papa Swole and trying to convince him. Yeah, see, he's being used too much. We lower that. No, it's still being used too much. I wonder. I guess I could just go off screen. That'd solve the problem, but then again, it doesn't really solve the problem because we kind of needed them to be in an angle together just to sort of further along the whole true storyline that we're going with at the moment. Anyway, I think what I want to do next is we're going to have another tag team match for Forces of Darkness, but this time we're going to go Mutant teaming up with Original Sinner in the hopes that they don't have negative chemistry. So we're going to have them, and they are going to take on... I was going to go the Northern Lights, but I don't really want to... I mean, they both have neutral momentum. Let's go against them. For 12 minutes, with obviously Mutant getting the victory. Obviously, it also needs to be scripted as well. Kind of unfortunate, but there we go. Alright, so other storylines... I think I want to have another... Actually, we'll save the Canadian title match. Which match did we do last time? Because I want to have Matt Hocking take on somebody else. So he took on Charlie Corner. Did he take on anyone else from... No, he didn't. Alright, seeing as that's the case, what we're going to do is have Hocking take on maybe Rock and Ryan Turner. Just for 12 minutes, Hocking's going to get the victory. However, it's going to be a bit of shenanigans going on in this match. It's going to be a tainted win. It's going to be an outside interference finish on Ryan Turner by Jackpot. And then we're also going to have interference during the match onto Hocking by Charlie Corner. And let's go Stan Manor as well. So obviously, there's some real upset there. Matty Faith still hasn't really got involved, though. He's still kind of separated himself just a little bit. All right, what else are we going to go? I guess we could maybe go a Sono. Let's go. Did we do Gary Walker and Primetime Jack Pride? Yes, we did. Okay, so I guess seeing as that's the case, sucks for Sono, but I'm going to put Gary Walker in a match against him. Purely for the fact that Gary Walker is essentially our number one contender at the moment. So we want to try and make sure that he's pushed pretty well, because he will have an opportunity at the Canadian title. So there we go. I think I want to give Matty Faith an angle prior to Hocking's match, just to essentially reiterate the point of Hocking joining. And of course, there's no answer, but it's pretty obvious with what happens during the match. It kind of looks like Hocking obviously isn't going to join. And I think Faith knows that, and he's kind of just being persistent in trying to, I guess, break him down a little bit. Alright, so let's go another tag match. Let's have Young and Wasted. We haven't really used them recently. And they can just take on Los Hermanos 2. Of course, the worst combination of the tag team pairings. We'll give Brett Kyle the victory there. This one can also be storytelling. And definitely non-title. Alright, so with that said, let's actually go for a triple threat main event. Triple threat. I don't know why I said main event. Triple threat tag team storyline angle. So all three of our teams here. Stan, Rock and Ryan Turner. Then finally, Jackpot and Stevie P. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Let's just literally go entertainment for all of them. They're all pretty well suited. But we will definitely script them all as well. And I know some of them are involved in separate storylines, so we'll just literally go success for all of them. And then obviously we can also advance 2 separate storylines. Actually, I think we can advance 3. Yeah. I mean, that's nice and easy. We'll also go a Gary Walker angle. Actually, will we? No, let's go with Lucinda Lush. And Cooper as well. So this will be Lucinda talking about Gary Walker. So we'll have him off screen. And basically, it'll be, you know, if Gary Walker wins, he becomes #1 contender for the pay-per-view. The push for Canada. I don't think she's actually involved in that storyline. No, she's not. All right, let's get Lucinda in there as well. Nice and easy. Perfect. That needs to go there. I think we've got one more match to book. Then again, I'm not really too sure what I want to do as far as that match goes. I would like to do Zeus versus Aldous, but I feel like that's kind of too big of a match. Instead, let's go like this. Let's go Zombie Boy and Zeus. It's a nice, easy victory there for Zeus. Get a little bit of momentum back. Simple, easy, and it should be pretty well executed as well. Okay. That'll go on first. We'll actually, let's work the crowd with that match as well. Hopefully it'll just make it that little bit better. And then for the pre-show, we'll just go a couple of multi-mans. Let's go for Brody, Gorman, and Diaz to take on Red, White, and Blue. And they can team up with, Willie LaRue. Why not? Just give him another match. Willie LaRue was kind of a weird signing. I kind of signed him just because I really liked him from the TCW series that I did over on Twitch. I just had a bit of a soft spot for him. I just don't think we're actually going to be using him too much. Eventually, he'll make his way into the mid card, but I mean, at this point, there's not a lot for him to do. That kind of sucks. And then we'll do one more match, another 6-man, and let's go for Gilmore, John Greed, and Ozzy Goldstein, and they can take on. We'll go Charlie Corner, go Chip Martin, and who else is a decent sort of up and comer? We'll go Jack Pride. Yeah. Should be able to go for 12. And then let's go John Greed. Hopefully for the momentum. That should be fine. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's run the go home show. Alright, so we start off with a 68 rated 6-man tag on the pre-show, with Giant Brody, Graham Gorman, and James Diaz defeating Willie LaRue and Red, White, and Blue in 11:53, when James Diaz pinned Americana with an Asian thumb spike. Yeah, it's a good match. Basically, these three guys are probably going to be involved in the 8-man tournament, so bit of a tune-up match on the pre-show. And the second pre-show match getting a 65, a little bit lower. We have Angry Gilmore, John Greed, and Ozzy Goldstein beating Charlie Corner, Chip Martin, and Primetime Jack Pride in 12:20, and John Greed pinned Primetime Jack Pride with a crash diet. And then we had Goldstein head and shoulders above everybody else in the match. Very solid 78. And again, I would say these three are probably also going to be involved. Maybe Gilmore will be left out, potentially. But then again, he also has kind of a little semi-feud, if you will, with Graham Gorman. Alrighty, so we then kick off the show with an 80 rated opening contest. We have Zeus Maximilian defeating Zombie Boy in 11:58 by pinfall with a Thunderbolt. probably that's a main event quality match in 12 minutes. As you can see, Zeus and Zombie Boy have great chemistry, showed in their performances. And of course, we were working the crowd. And it seems to have worked pretty well. So I'm happy with that. Also, I think I forgot to turn off crowd burnout. So I need to do that. That was the sort of consensus from the last episode as well. Got to mention that. Very important. Probably not going to have too much of an impact on this show, but it will definitely have a big impact on the pay-per-view. So I will turn that off. Anyway, we move on to a 70 rated angle, which is actually, it's pretty good. If we can continue to get 70 rated angles for these 3 tag teams, I would actually be very happy. And I feel like our tag division, it has come a long way. But basically, it's just a war of words. And basically, the champions, Kyle and Norton, they put over the fact that the triple threat has now been confirmed as a ladder match. The 2 title belts, the tag title belts, will hang above the ring. And of course, ladders will be involved. Good stuff. We then go into Young and Wasted's match, which gets a 66, which is pretty surprising as well, considering exactly who they're versing. But we do have Young and Wasted defeating Los Hermanos 2 in 12-10 when Brett Kyle pinned Louise Frost with a shooting star press. And obviously, Frost being the weak link. Norton seemed off his game. But everything else is actually pretty good. And we even had Kyle with a 71 in-ring, which seems pretty OP. I mean, there's not a lot of people on our roster at the moment that are getting 71, so he's almost like Diaz territory, which is crazy to think. But also the reason why we signed both of them to 10-year contracts. Alright, we then move into a 46 rated angle from Lucinda Lush, of course talking about her client, Cooper Christie, and his Canadian title. And she also alludes to the fact that Gary Walker does have a number 1 contenders match up next against the challenger from last week in Yuta Usono. That match gets a 62 rating where we have Gary Walker defeating Yuta Usono in 12-18 by pinfall with a pants pull sunset flip. Deanna Desire, of course, Usono's manager, doing good work at ringside. And pretty even in-ring performances there as well. We then go straight into an 87 rated angle from Maddie Faith. Since this guy came in, man, he has literally... he's propelled himself up into the main event. I don't really understand how he's done it, to be honest. But he's done it. Getting 87s for his angles now. I know he improvised well, but that's not even the highest sort of penalty you can get from an unscripted angle. It's pretty crazy, and he's been gaining popularity like an absolute madman at the moment. Incredible stuff. I'm very impressed. And again, I'll basically state, I wasn't going to sign him. I was very, very torn. And sort of at the last second, I was like, okay, we may as well just bring him in, and I can do something with him with the Rock City Stars. And then, of course, Faith No More is now probably one of my favorite stables, along with now the new Forces of Darkness, if you will. Anyway, we then go into Matt Hocking's match. Of course, that was essentially what Faith's promo was about. Getting a 68 here. And we have Matt Hocking defeating Rock and Ryan Turner in 11:50 by pinfall with a Hock Shock. Following interference from Jackpot Jordan. Of course, continuing with the triple threat tag team storyline. But we also, during the match, saw Charlie Corner run in and attack Hocking. And of course, Stan Manor, of course, Ryan Turner's tag team partner, also attack Matt Hocking. So, I mean, it's a tainted victory there, but also it's a bit of karma coming back to bite the members of Faith No More in the backside. And a good little win there for Hocking as well. Alright, we then go into a bit of a throwaway tag team match. We get a 60 rating here, though. It's kind of good, considering Original Sinner's in the match. But we do have Mutant and Original Sinner, of course. They are a part of Forces of Darkness. They actually defeat the Northern Lights, of course, one of our newest tag teams in the company. when Mutant pinned Riddick Jordan with the Tina Turner. Interesting finisher. Okay. Got Mutant carrying the match in terms of in-ring performance. Obviously, a 59 is pretty solid for a guy with like mid-40s popularity. So I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good match overall. And it's hopefully going to help the Northern Lights get a little bit more popularity, even though they did lose the match. All right, we then go into an 82 rated angle. Of course, Mobstar. Let's just pretend that Papa Swole is actually in the angle. And it's basically Mobstar talking about how Papa Swole and him have, they've become boys. They become really close backstage with each other. Of course, Papa Swole had Mobstar's back about a month ago, maybe a month or two ago. And basically he says that, Papa Swole's going to do him a thing or two tonight and soften up Davis for that I Quit match at the pay-per-view. 82 is not too bad. Obviously, no penalty, but no sort of positive bonus there either, being off script for Mobstar. And the main event does extremely well, but honestly, there's no real surprise in that. An 86 rated main event here for the Go Home Show. We have Davis Wayne Newton defeating Papa Swole in 1938 by submission with an STF. Now, the reason why I say it's no surprise, obviously Davis is the GOAT. We all know this. But Papa Swole, despite having, I think he just has over 50 popularity at the moment, he's really, really good in the ring. Psychology's lacking a little bit, but he's got very good basics. His primary skills are also pretty good. They're above average, I would say. At least some of them are. And Davis was able to carry him to an 86 for 20 minutes, getting himself a 93 in-ring performance. I've got to say, I'm looking forward to this main event. It is, of course, the rematch, the biggest rematch of the series so far, I would say. Anyway, finish the Go Home Show. We get an 83 overall rating again, increasing our popularity in 53 regions. And we gain popularity. Well, we failed to gain in those weird 3 American regions, which are up to like 45 or 46 or whatever they're up to. But hopefully we'll get a little bit of increase with them now that we're onto a medium coverage broadcaster for our pay-per-views in the US. But we also got the increase there for Ontario as well for that TV show. Very beneficial. The big thing for me is the pay-per-view. So I've got to remember, got to go to the settings, or I think it might be preferences actually. And we got to turn that off. Ooh, Tiffany Jade. I mean, if we ever wanted to start a women's division. She's also Canadian, so I mean, honestly, part of me really wants to, but Valpro is still going. Not really too sure how long Valpro is going to go for. Obviously, I did say that I wanted to branch out into new content. Okay, well that's a 99 and a 99 rated main event with a 97 semi-main event. So yeah. That's fair play. Good rating. I wonder if we'll be able to get a 90 plus rated main event. All right, so let me go quickly into the settings here. And I do believe it is in preferences. So crowd burnout, there we go. Let me save that. What is crowd management? I feel like crowd management is almost the same thing. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. Doesn't need to be the new default or anything like that. So, yep, title's made. We are ready to go. And of course, let me just double check that preference is now turned off. Yeah, so crowd burnout turned off. I think we're good to go. So let's advance into the pay-per-view. I'm just trying to think of who our competitors are actually going to be. What I'll do is I'll quickly book the main event. I'm going to black screen it while I book it. Just want to make it a little bit of a surprise for you guys. And then I'll bring us back up, and I think we'll go through the 4 matches of the tournament itself. Like I said, it's probably going to be Graham Gorman, Giant Brody, Ozzy Goldstein, Aldous Blackfriar, Princeton Price, John Greed as well. Is that 7 or is that 8? If that's 7, then it's also going to be James Diaz. So, yeah. All right, we've got Rick Law, 41 years old. Probably, I mean, he's great, to be fair. Normally he is. But I just think at this point, he's 41 years old. Stamina's, I mean, that's weird. Was that 75, which is what it's at now, but it went back up to 76, and now it's dropped back down. Interesting. I've got Anthony Trask as well. The Trask Master. Really good entertainment skills. He's also selfish, though. I mean, the dude's pretty good. He's not bad. Are they even re-signing him? It doesn't, yeah. It doesn't look like they're even re-signing this guy. And he's got, like, 59 popularity as well. I don't think we're going to sign him. I don't think we can. And, of course, there's also Mars Patriot as well. Though he's 36. But look how good he is. Dude is talented. Very, very talented. Also got 97 stamina as well. And honestly, I'm not actually against, signing him. And I say that because he would be a perfect sort of mid-card champion. Alright, so El Ring are going in for an offer, but actually, I'm not going to sign him. Yeah, I'm not going to sign him. We'll leave it. We'll leave it. I just got to try and remember that he is available if I need some more mid-card talent. Anyway, let's just get into the show. I might come back for him. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think he would be a sort of mid-card talent? Here we go. Both pay-per-view broadcasters selected. The event is set to be broadcast on Canada One Choice and UDemand. Looking forward to it. Who's missing? So Kavanagh's not going to make the debut. Oh, please. No, I thought that was protege mentor relationship status there. But unfortunately, it's only Cooper Christie going before wrestlers caught there with Angry Gilmore. And he gets a small positive impact as well. Do we have any meddling to do? We do. Just between Davis and Kavanagh. And Kavanagh's not even here, is he? So, no. No meddling. Nothing to do. We're going to go... Yeah, we're going to go to Toronto. We're expected to get 45,000 fans for this show. That seems insane. But I like it. Imagine if we were still running the 4 events per month with 45,000 people at each show. I mean, that would literally be game-breaking. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, real quick, book the main event. We're going to go black screen. And I'll get booking real fast. I think we're going to go a 12... So I think the tournament matches are going to be 12 minutes. And I think for this main event, because the 30-minute main event kind of tanked, I think for the I Quit match, we will indeed go for just 25. A little bit risky. 20 minutes might be a better option, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll see what happens with a 25-minute match for this kind of historic match as well. It is our, like I said, it's our biggest rematch, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know you guys are as well. Anyway, there we go. That is the main event book there. I'll bring you guys back. Scary stuff, man. I really hope it's going to be above a 95. I know that's really optimistic, but I just wish. Anyway, the next match we need to do is we'll do the ladder match first. The triple threat ladder match. So let's have Young and Wasted take on the Moneymakers, taking on the Rock City Stars. This one's going to go for 20. It's going to be interesting as well. And I say that because we are indeed going to have new tag team champions. It's unfortunate, but I mean, I don't want to say it was inevitable, but the way things have been going for the new champions just goes to show how crazy things have been recently. For one of them in particular. We won't mention any names because you'll probably know who it is. Anyway, so with that said, we'll now book the tournament itself. Actually, let's quickly book the Canadian title match. It's real easy, real simple. We are indeed going to have a new champion. That is right. Gary Walker and his new attitude is going to pay off, and he's going to become the new Canadian champion. Probably didn't expect to see this one coming, but there we go. I need to put the title on the line. Make sure I do that. And there we go. All right, so there's our 3 title matches, and then now we can actually book the tournament. So, how do I want to book it? Let's go Aldous first. Now, Aldous, what I should have done is at least determined the members of the actual tournament itself. All right, Aldous is going to take on John Greed. 12 minutes, set and done. Aldous, pretty straightforward, going to get the victory. It's going to be decisive. It's going to be a decisive victory. Obviously, John Greed has 0 backup. You know, his boys are heavily busy and involved with that sort of tag team title match. And for good reason as well. Because obviously the outcome is in their favor. Up next, let's go for Diaz taking on either Giant Brody or Graham Gorman. Let's go Graham Gorman. We done this match recently? No, we haven't. Actually, I don't think we've never done this match in a singles before. It's actually pretty cool. Maybe it would have been better suited as a semi-final. Either way. And yeah, unfortunately for Gorman, it is going to be James Diaz's day. Thing is, I mean, it's just Diaz has more going for him. Gorman's going to complain there as well. Pretty funny, but we're going to keep him strong. He's a good talent to have. He's a good upper mid-carder. Even though he doesn't like to take losses, which is really frustrating. Probably should have put him on like to pass the torch contract and just paid a little bit more. Then at the same time, I was kind of going to push him, so almost feel a little bit bad about it. Up next, let's go for Goldstein taking on Giant Brody. This one's pretty straightforward. I mean, we can't have our boy Ozzy Goldstein going down to somebody with, 56 popularity. Just doesn't seem all that right. And again, Brody's push, it'll come, but at the moment, it's just not yet. And then, who was in our last match? I don't actually remember who I was saying. I know I said Gilmore. But who is he actually taking on? Oh, Princeton Price. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Because I wanted to give Princeton the victory. And I've sort of completely forgotten about him. You know what I might do? I might change things up here. I'm going to go for Aldous instead of Princeton. And we're going to go this way. So Aldous is going to get the victory here. It's going to be decisive as well. So it's a massive, massive victory. And then what I'll do is I'll change John Greed with Princeton Price, and we'll do it this way. That makes it a bit easier, because now we can do something a bit special in the semi-finals. Yep, so that's all good. Let me just rename this so I know which one's which. And I think we are indeed good to go. So let's go with the semi-finals. I think we'll go Aldous versus Goldstein, and then Diaz versus Princeton. Although, do I want to go like that? Yeah, I think I do. So let's go with Aldous. Where is Goldstein? Another pretty cool match. And they can only really go for 12. We might even actually have to lower that because they're going to be involved in 3 matches on the card. But this one's going to be a bit more interesting. It is going to be a tainted victory with an outside interference finish. And it's going to be Goldstein being attacked by, you guessed it, new boy on the scene, Mutant, getting involved in another match. I think he got involved, didn't he? Well, he was obviously in the tag team match at some stage. So that can go after that one. Seeing as we don't have crowd burnout anymore, we don't really have to worry about a calm the crowd match or anything like that. And then our other semi-final is indeed going to be Diaz and Princeton Price. Another really good match, kind of like more of an up-and-comer match, even though Princeton's 28, and they're still both pretty young. And for this one, we are indeed going to go for Princeton getting a victory there over Diaz. Going to be decisive, of course. Princeton, he's a heel, but he's not sort of a cheating heel at the moment. Kind of just a preppy heel, if you will. So let's chuck you after that one. Now, I'm just going to bring up my comments section real quick from the last episode, because we need to give Princeton Price a finisher. So with that said, we had a recommendation on the last episode. Let me just try and find that real quick here. And then I think we'll go into the editor. And we'll fix it all up. Alright, so his finisher is going to be called the Price Tag, which I really did like. So I wonder if we can actually change that right now. No, we can't. Okay, well, he's not going to have a finisher right now. Should have done that earlier. My bad. But there we go. So I'll make sure I do that after this episode. I'll get it set up between episodes. Anyway, let's book the final here as well. I might actually go black screen again for this one. It's kind of a special little tournament, I guess, and leave it up to the element of surprise for you guys. Maybe just to enjoy the booking of the match just that little bit more. But it is, of course, going to be Aldous Blackfriar taking on Princeton Price. Like I said, both of them are very new signings. Very talented, very young as well for both of them. And one of them will indeed get a title shot at the next pay-per-view. There we go. That one's booked. Let me just rearrange it here. And we'll get us set up. I think we'll have it go on after the Triple Threat Tag Team match. Just to split everything up. So one title match is essentially splitting up each of these each of these sort of tournament brackets. The quarterfinals, semifinals, final. We do also have a little bit of time left, but we'll do angles first, and then we'll maybe chuck in like a 5-on-5 or something like that. So let's go for a... Well, seeing as he's the champion, let's go Mobster. That'll go pre-main event. I think that's by far the best place to put it. I then think we want to go. I'm not sure where. I mean, who would get a better angle? I feel like Aldous would probably get a better angle. So I think I want to put Aldous' angle before the final, and then I'll do Princeton's before his semi-final, and then we can give a few other people some cheeky little angles in there as well. So that'll go there. Oh yeah, okay. What we'll do is we'll go an Angry Gilmore angle to kick off the show. Nice and easy. We'll just have angles galore, to be fair. Goldstein. So this pay-per-view is going to be really good. I've got a super good feeling about this one. That'll go there. We'll then go a Diaz angle as well. Hopefully we can fit all these angles in. This will be before his match. It's just kind of like a little promo sort of preview before each of these sort of competitors' matches. And then we'll go a... Yeah, so Princeton needs his angle as well before his semi-final. There he is, the man without a named finisher. Likes to win by pinfall and by submission, with no real name for any of his sort of signature moves. Very funny. Also a little bit sad, but we won't talk about that. And there we go. That's sorted out. Let's also go for a... I think what I want to do is have a Gary Walker, Cuba Christie. I'm going to have an attack. So let's go fighting. It's going to be 4 minutes. We'll talk about it as well. Let's have Gary Walker attacks Cuba Christie. It's just going to be backstage before their match. Nice, easy, nice and simple. And essentially kind of goes to the reasoning as to why he loses that title. So that needs to go before their match. There's so many matches on this card, it's ridiculous. Where are we at? One more? Okay, well that's actually it. That's all we can do. So there's going to be no tag team angle, which is okay, because their match it's going to be good enough. It would have been nice actually to have a Moneymakers angle, you know, considering what's about to happen, but there we go. Anyway, pre-show, go a couple of cheeky multi-mans, and we will move on. So let's go for... Where is he? Jack Jackson, Zach Powerson. Let's go Doc Hammond in there as well, get him some momentum back, and Hocking. And they can take on guys like Pepper, Jack Pride. We won't go Jack Pride. Go Ray Cavallero. Actually, let's go Osamanos 2 there. And then we'll chuck in... Yeah, we'll chuck in Jay Silver. Why not? There we go. That'll be on the pre-show. We'll just get Robinson to do it, honestly. And I guess we'll give the victory to Jack, because according to John Greed, he has a very bright future. So hopefully, you know, John's on the ball there. Anyway, I should probably fix up the show. So we need a storytelling match, which can just be this match here, to be honest. Doesn't really need to be any real story going on. So Edmonton and Stones. Alright, so I really don't care about this one. So we'll go Dace there. And we need a few more. So, I mean, this match itself is already Gilmore. But what I'll do is I'll go Robinson for that one. And then this one will go Gilmore as well. Still need some more, though. Yeah, both Stones and Monson. So I think for this Diaz one as well, which is already Gilmore, let's go Robinson, let's go Dace. And then I'll change another one of these to Gilmore, see if that does the trick. Edmondson is still badly overloaded. Wow. All right, let me check some angles. That's Gilmore. That's Gilmore. Angle Princeton Price. We'll go Gilmore here. This one. Yeah, we'll go Gilmore for that one as well. Diaz, Gilmore. Take a double check. Still too much. Wow. Oh, Gilmore has to be him himself. This one can be Gilmore. Did that match to Gilmore, didn't I? Man, this is tough. I mean, even still, Dace is going to have to do some more refereeing. So I guess in theory, he's going to have to referee probably all of these opening matches, which sucks really bad. Oh. Alright, so now Gilmore's been given slightly too much to do. So I guess what I can do with this is actually make this Robinson. Okay, so that fixes that problem. Now we have Stones, RM Stones doing too much refereeing. I guess I really want that. No, that's a real showcase. Maybe this one. We'll go the... I know it's a semi-final, but still too much. I mean, they both do, to be fair. I mean, are there any more referees we could get just to do the pre-show? I mean, we can search, but... yeah, there's no one. Alright, so I think it's time for us to go out and sign another referee as well. Because we've run into this problem. Honestly, I think it would probably be better for us to actually have Stones without any potential penalty. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go hard on Dace. And we might just get rid of this. Yeah, I think we're just going to get rid of the multi-man. I mean, he still has slightly too much refereeing to do, but at least it's not going to affect our big matches. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Let's run the show. We've got no pre-show tonight, but we're going to have a lot of upset people as well. And we are slightly overusing our referee, but let's do it. I'm liking this pay-per-view. One Ring to rule them all really looks solid, and it looks like it could get a real good rating. Here we go. We start things off. What better way to start a show off? Angry Gilmore, 100 rated angle, going into the first ever One Ring to rule them all tournament. And of course, he was superb, working without a script, had the crowd in the palm of his hand the entire time, as you'd expect from the man himself, Angry Gilmore. Go into the opening tournament match, getting a 66 rating here. We have Aldous Blackfriar defeating Angry Gilmore in 9:41 by pinfall with a Batwing. Good match. I think this is our only 10-minute match. Obviously, Gilmore has to be in 10-minute matches in singles competition. So there we go. Good victory. Happy with that. We then go into a 92 rated angle, this time from our boy Aussie Goldstein. Of course, he improvised well throughout the segment, basically just stating his claim, as all these angles are just essentially all the competitors just stating their claim to become the unified world champion and, well, to win the tournament tonight and go on to next month. His match is actually really good. We get a 76, which is unexpected, but as you can see, great chemistry. Love to see it. And we have Aussie Goldstein defeating Giant Brody in 11:45 by pinfall with the famous Golden Shower. And an 87 in-ring there from Goldstein. Very solid, very impressive. Got a hot new move, and he's got great chemistry there with Giant Brody in singles competition. Moving into an 84 rated angle from James Diaz, of course, the youngster himself. And he also worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage. And you don't really see many 84s from Diaz. So I'm pretty happy with that. His match gets a 65, which is interesting, because it's a lot lower than their in-ring performances. But we do have James Diaz defeating Graham Gorman in 11:58 by pinfall with an Asian thumb spike. Diaz advancing to the semi-final. But as you can see, Diaz had a 73, Gorman with a 76. I guess it was both refereed by Dace and road agented by Alexander Robinson. So yeah, I mean, he was also penalized for holding back, which is interesting. And obviously there's no storyline associated, but that's perfectly fine. Bit of a weird one. Holding back. I don't really see that too often. I feel like that is holding back to do with consistency or experience. I can't remember, but either way, unfortunate. Hopefully he's not holding back for the whole pay-per-view, because of course he's got another match. Anyway, we move straight into another match here, the last match of the quarterfinal stage, getting a 62 rating. We have Princeton Price defeating John Greed in 12:11 by pinfall. Yep, no finisher. Of course, his new finisher is going to be called the Price Tag. So I might just put that in there going forward. Yeah, 62. It's okay. He had a 70 in-ring, which is the standout. All right, we then go into a 53 rated angle. We have Gary Walker attacking Cooper Christie backstage before their Canadian title match. And it's not looking too good for Christie. He is essentially beaten to a pulp and is looking pretty bruised and battered, as he sort of walks out for his match. The match itself is really, really, really good for a mid-card title match. You get a 70 rated match here, and we do have Gary Walker defeating Cooper Christie in 11:49 by pinfall by using underhanded tactics. Gary Walker wins the CWC Canadian title. Of course, Gary attacking him backstage, underhanded tactics, tainted victory, destroying former tag team partner Zippy Deverell. It was essentially meant to be. His story arc has kind of come full circle, and he's now the champion. But he did cheat to win. Not decisive, not clean, and Cooper's going to be pretty upset about the way in which this is sort of transpired. Anyway, as you can see, Cooper Christie and Gary have great chemistry as well, so we're finding all the good chemistry tonight. That's perfect. And yeah, we had a 68 there for Cooper and a 63 for Gary. All right, we then go into our first semi-final match, and it gets an 80 rating. Impressive stuff, man. The future is looking bright. We have Aldous Blackfriar defeating Ozzy Goldstein in 12:25 by submission with a Gloom Weaver clutch after interference from Mutant. So Blackfriar cheating to win, and the only way you could actually beat Goldstein, of course Goldstein is super talented, was from help. Mutant getting involved in the match and essentially causing Goldstein to lose. So Goldstein's not going to be happy, and there might be a bit of retribution on the cards for Mutant in the next episode. Anyway, we've got an 83 in ring there for Goldstein and a solid 75 for Blackfriar. All right, we then go into a 69 rated angle, this time from Princeton Price. And as you can see, he also improvised well throughout the segment. So far, so good. We've had 0, scripting penalties, which I love to see on the pay-per-view especially. And yeah, it's a solid angle there from Princeton. Usually his stuff is a little bit lower, so we'll take it. And that's also a really good match. These are probably our lower of the two competitors in the semi-final. And we get a 70 rated match from it. We do indeed have Princeton Price defeating James Diaz in 12:05 by submission. Diaz with a 77 in-ring performance. Maybe it should have been Diaz in the final. But Prince is getting in there, only getting a 68. A little bit on the low side, but hopefully it'll at least boost his popularity up a little bit, as he will be involved in that final match. Still a good rating. Happy. All right. Wow. Wow. A 79 rated tag match. I knew it was going to be good, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I was thinking maybe a 75, but 79 is above expectations. And we have the Moneymakers defeating Young and Wasted and the Rock City Stars in a ladder match in 20 minutes 1 second, when Jackpot Jordan retrieved the item. The Moneymakers win the CWC Coalition Tag Team titles. And good fashion as well. Yeah, Jackpot Jordan retrieving the item. He's been on an absolute roll. Standout performer as well with a 75 in ring. Great stuff. That's all I can say. From all three. Obviously, Rock City Stars. Yeah, I mean, they're lacking a little bit behind these two. There'll be a rematch here, and then we'll probably move on to Rock City Stars and the Moneymakers. We're already kind of hinting at that. Potentially with Maddie Faith and John Greed, so that'll happen. I guess we'll have a bit of a stable warfare for the following month. All right, we then go into a 93 rated angle this time from Aldous Blackfriar. As you can see, he also worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage. And that's a solid rating as well. I know he's our best talker in the company now, but his popularity is not that high, or at least it wasn't previously. And the main, sorry, not the main event, the final. I was about to say the main event. The final of One Ring to Rule Them All. Final of the tournament. It's okay. It's not great. I kind of did want to do Ozzy Goldstein versus Aldous, but I just felt like this adds a little bit more, and then we have Goldstein, who can feud with Aldous Blackfriar, or at least feud with Mutant, and there might be some other involvement in there as well. We get a 74 for the final of the tournament, and we do indeed have Aldous Blackfriar defeating Princeton Price, who, did okay for this tournament in 20 minutes 9 seconds by pinfall with a Batwing. We have Aldous Blackfriar winning the first ever CWC One Ring to Rule Them All. Yeah, good match. 79 in ring this time from Aldous. Crazy. And we get a 69 there for Princeton as well. I'm happy with that. It's good enough. All right, we then move into an 86 rated angle for Mobstar. I'm a little bit nervous. Going into this main event. Please, anything above a 90, I'll be extremely happy with. Above a 95, and it's our best ever match. Here we go. Interesting. Okay, it's a really good match. We get an 85 rated main event here, where we have Mobstar defeating Davis, Wayne, Newton in an I Quit match in 25 minutes 6 seconds by submission. And we have Mobstar making his first defense of the CWC Unified World title. However, we got a penalty, and I feel like it's another undeserved penalty. Maybe I might be wrong. But it says there were times when there was a definite lack of psychology on display, and the match had a tendency to drift a little. Now again, that might be me messing up, going 25 minutes. Potentially. Probably. But as you can see, we had a 94 in-ring from Davis, an 88 there from Mobstar. So essentially, that match should be above an 88 at a minimum, in my opinion. It's unfortunate. I mean, this match isn't even as good as Papa Swole and Davis Wayne Newton. Now, that doesn't make any sense at all, because that was a 20-minute match. Now, again, I might have messed up. Putting 25. I have a look at the dirt sheet here. I'm a little bit frustrated, but at the same time, it was still a really good match, so I can't really See, I just don't get that. I don't get the lack of psychology. And again, we get the double storyline penalty, which is frustrating, but I've kind of looked into it, and it's more just the fact that the match itself is obviously above where the storyline heat currently is. I guess what I should be doing before these pay-per-views is maybe just an angle with the two competitors, so it advances the storyline, and of course it rates very highly. It's probably the best way to go about it. The lack of psychology, I don't like that. Obviously, we turned off the crowd penalty for the burnout, and as you can see, it actually got a bonus for being done to a very hot crowd. So essentially, it would have been penalized even more. We might not have even gotten a blue match rating there had we left that on. Anyway, we finished the show. I mean, it's an incredible show. 86 rated show here for One Ring to rule them all. Interesting. I'm kind of wondering why that's happened. So we got an increase in popularity in 12 regions. However, we didn't grow in 5 American regions due to the limited number of fans, which I thought going up to medium coverage would have boosted us up a little bit. And we would have gained in 1 Canadian region as well. But due to the limited number of viewers there as well, which I would assume is probably Ontario. I would hope so. That's a little bit confusing to me. Honestly, that's a little bit confusing. Anyway, praise. Let's go for Aldous. Let's go for Diaz. Maybe Jackpot as well. That's actually a good shout. There we go. Just some nice praise for sort of my, I guess not the top performers, because obviously people were better, but impressive performers of the night. I think Mobstar versus Aldous is going to be a very good match for the next pay-per-view as well, so we'll book towards that. And I think in the meantime, the storyline will also have... Well, I guess what we'll do is we'll have Mobstar join the crew and then eliminate Mighty Kavanaugh from the crew. Try and do that. Anyway, pay-per-view buy rate. We get a 0.66. 330,705 buys. I'm hoping is a lot of money. Yeah, I'm really hoping. So let's actually have a look. We'll find it all out. US Pro holding a show in front of 75,000 people. But let me just take a quick look at the title here. So the tournament title, One Ring to rule them all, already up to 74 prestige. We also went up to 73, because that was at 72 earlier this episode for the Unified World title as well. Happy about that. What about the... Assuming that went up as well. Let's have a look. Maybe not. I guess not. Yeah, 44. Still 44. Let's advance a day, though. Let's suss out the finances. Find out exactly how much money we made. Can you imagine if it's less than what we were making for Ondam? It potentially could be. I don't think it will be, but it potentially could be because Ondam shows to the whole world. So you would assume that the broadcast revenue would be pretty high because you have every region involved. We got a pay rise request here from Rock and Ryan Turner as well. Of course, I think we just gave one to Stan Manor. All right, so we've got a lot of people's contracts running out as well here. Stan Brazel, pretty terrible announcer there. T-Bone Bright, very talented. He's not exactly over, but I mean, to be honest, he could be another good addition to either the crew or maybe he could start up his own stable alongside Riddick and Alton. Something to think about. I don't really. I mean, they're not extending it, so it'll probably just run out. We've got Joey Morgan here as well. Also very, very talented, but 41 years old. They're extending him. But we do have Aaron Andrews. 37 years old. I mean, can we even negotiate? No, we can't. Okay, never mind. 99 popularity across all the regions. Would have been nice. Would have been really, really nice to get him in, but yeah, no way. Absolutely no way possible. And finally, got a road agent here in Captain USA. Yeah, not really too fussed about him. Anyway, here we go. Yep, there we go. The finances, 1.124 million. That's massive. As you can see, ticket sales are around the same, a little bit higher. Where's our pay-per-view? Yeah, nearly $800,000 in pay-per-view revenue. Look at that. And I mean, if you look at the broadcast revenue itself, it's literally only about 45,000 less than the previous month. So that's crazy in its own right. And look at the merchandise as well. Wow. I think did we go up a level? I think we did, didn't we? Yeah. All right. So that makes sense. We went up a level. Good to see Angry Gilmore still selling a lot of merchandise there. Anyway, what I want to show you right now, I want to show you Mobstar and I want to show you Davis's psychology. 82 psychology. Surely that is enough for a 25-minute match. He's also lost 2 popularity as a result of losing that match, which sucks. However, Mobstar now also has 85 popularity, which is good, I guess. Very good, considering he's up from 79. That's 6 points. And his psychology is 80. Now, 80 is also not the best in the world, but surely it's enough for a 25-minute match. Anyway, again, it might just be my fault for going 25. I should have, in my head, I knew I should have gone 20. But I wanted it to be special. I just felt the extra 5 minutes just feels a little bit more special. The best ever rematch we're going to have. And, well, it's not the best rematch we're ever going to have, are we? It's going to be better. Anyway, size, real quick. I don't know if we're really up in anything. 32, 38, 25, 44, 60. Yeah, I mean, everything looks about the same, which really is quite unfortunate. And the popularity, I mean, I don't know what's going on. I really don't. It's weird. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's a strange one. I don't really know why 5 regions, despite going up to medium, we now can't get any sort of viewership in for our pay-per-views. That seems really weird. And very confusing at the same time. Anyway, apart from that, let's take a quick look at a few other people. Aldous Blackfriar is up to 80 popularity already as a result of that tournament. Gaining 9 points in 1 month. Wow. What about other people? I guess the next to look at would be Princeton, who's up to 67, which is up 5 points this month. Very good. Take a quick look at Ozzy Goldstein. Still at 78. I think he was already there. Yeah. So he actually gained 4 points last month, I think. Or between last month and this month. Diaz, 65. I think that's still the same. Yeah. Been at 65 for a little while. Hasn't really done too much. What's his psychology? It's only 71. Yeah, that psychology penalty is a really weird one to get, man. I'm really confused by it. Anyway, last person we'll look at is Maddie Faith, who's now at 60 popularity. Guys, at 60 pop and pulling off 87 rated angles. He didn't actually gain any popularity. Bit of a slowdown, if you will. Also didn't wrestle on the pay-per-view, so can't really blame him too much. But he will get his time against Hocking in the near future, probably at the next pay-per-view. Anyway, that is going to wrap up the episode, guys. Please smash the like button. I know most of you probably already have. It really does mean a lot. But if you haven't, please do that. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to the channel that you do that now. We're also getting really close to 10% of subscribers with the notifications turned on. I think we're currently at 9.7, which is massive considering at the sort of near or towards the start of the year, I think around March time, we were actually at 9. So we've gained 0.7 in, 5 months, 6 months? Longer than that, actually. 7 months. There we go, 7 months, worked it out, quick maths. And yeah, that's it. As always, take it easy, and goodbye.